What's going on, guys? So my name's James Watts, and today I'm going to start my channel off with a video as to why I rent my apartment and why I didn't purchase it. I'm always getting asked this question on social media as to why I went this route. So today I'm going to address it and run you through the maths as to why I made that decision. We're going to go get the cars washed, grab some food, and then we'll run up to the apartment and I'll run you through the maths as to why I went the route I did. So in this video I'm going to be explaining to you why I rent my apartment instead of purchasing it. I'm going to run you through the figures of if you were to buy this apartment, if you were to rent, and now this isn't a video of why you should rent an apartment, this is just my financial situation and why I rent it. Everyone has a different financial situation, so please don't take this as financial advice. This is literally just me explaining my situation because I feel a lot of the people have been told by their parents, by their family, that buying is the way to go, but I feel a lot of people don't necessarily do the actual maths to see whether it's the right way to go. They sort of just have this thought in their head that it is the best way to go. So I'm going to show you the exact numbers as to how much I pay for rent, how much it is to mortgage, service charge, all the costs explained, so you can see exactly why I rent this apartment. And if you take nothing away from this video, I want you to take away having a think about your numbers when you next go to buy or rent a property. Actually sit down and run the numbers on Excel, on a notepad. A lot of this generation are buying properties, they're renting and not necessarily knowing whether it's actually the best thing to do for them financially. So first things first, we are going to go through why I rent. So the reason why I rent is purely financial. It's just way cheaper for me to rent, and given the fact that I do invest my money instead of leaving it in the bank, it actually makes more sense for me to rent my apartment, and with the cash which I would have put into the apartment, I put it into rental properties or other investments so I can see a better return on that. First things first, this apartment is £600,000. Now the minimum deposit you're going to need for this apartment is 10%, which is 60,000. Now, because I have other properties, I have to pay an increased stamp duty on this property when I purchase because I already have other properties. So I don't know what this is like in other countries, other states, I haven't got a clue, but this is my situation. So because I have other properties, I have to pay a higher rate of stamp duty, which puts the stamp duty for this property at 38,000. Now, in the UK, when you purchase a property, and it's most likely the same in every other country, you've got to pay solicitor fees and mortgage fees. So the mortgage fees for this property are included in the mortgage, in the interest. It's a way of a commission paid from the mortgage company through to the broker. So I don't have to worry about mortgage fees, but on average, solicitor fees are around about £3,000. So as a total, for me to just get the cash to buy this property, I'm looking at £101,000. The average interest rate for this country at the moment is around about 2%. So we're going to take our £600,000. Excuse my handwriting, it's pretty awful. And we're going to take away our deposit, which is 60,000. That leaves us with 540,000. So 2% on £540,000 mortgage is a total of, I changed pens because they broke, but £1,788. With the £1,788 per month, I have service charge on this apartment, which manages the security, the car park, the maintenance of the building, window cleaning, etc. And that comes to a total of £250 per month. So what I would be paying each month, service charge plus the mortgage. We're going to forget bills for now because whether you rent or whether you buy, bills are going to be bills, they're going to be the same. So the total amount I will be paying each month is £2,038. So just to clarify, we've up-fronted £60,000 cash for the deposit, £38,000 cash for the stamp duty and £3,000 for fees, which is a total of of 101,000 for upfront cash, and I'll be paying 2,038 for each month for the mortgage. So upfront we got 101,000. You might not be able to see this, and then we've got 2,000 per month. I actually pay £2,000 rent here, which is less than what I would be paying for the service charge and the mortgage. And the reason I pay less than that, and the way the landlord is able to make money, is because on each mortgage payment you have interest and you have principal. Now, when you do a rental property, you opt for interest only, so you can generate the cash flow and get your returns back. So the landlord of this place would have opted for interest only, and he won't be paying any capital. So as each month goes on, his loan amount stays the same. So he's essentially just paying to borrow that money, but is not actually paying any of it off. Now, I've got an amortization calculator up to work out what the payments are. So interest that would be paid is 900. And the principal that would be paid is 888. So the landlord is actually saving £800 on his mortgage, which is allowing him to make £800 a month, or 800 minus the 38, which is where his profit comes from. Now, you can't really do interest-only mortgages on residential properties as if you were to buy it yourself. It's more of only for buy-to-lets and rental properties only. But I could have done this option, but I still would have had 101,000 tied up in a property, generating no return, just sat there. And a lot of you are going to say, all right, yeah, but it goes up in value with the cost of houses, which is true. But I could also put that money into a rental property, have that go up as well, but also generate an income. So also generate a passive income that comes in every single month without having to do much. I mean, I have to manage the property if, say, a boiler breaks or something, but the management isn't really high maintenance. For me, it's better to invest my money into property, have the rising value of the property as well as a cash flow coming in from the rental, so from my tenants. So I'm going to wipe all this down, and I'm going to run you through how much I would put into a rental, how much the deposit, how much the fees, how much the stamp duty would be, what I would charge for rent, and what I would get back from my tenants. And then we can balance it out to see what makes more financial sense for me. Again, this is not a generic video of why you should rent and don't buy. It's just running through my own financial situation for you. So I'm going to run you through the figures of 2 rental properties I've just purchased, the amount I've paid, the amount of deposit I put up, stamp duty, fees, everything. I'm going to round it up for you because I can't be asked to go into the pounds and the pence of everything, but I'm going to give you a rundown of what it cost me, what return I see, and yeah, we'll get started. So the property I've just bought as an investment property is up for 160,000. Now, with an investment property, you need a minimum of a 25% deposit. For this property, it puts the deposit at £40,000. Now, because this is an investment property, I do pay stamp duty. It is over the threshold for stamp duty, and I will pay a higher rate. But because stamp duty is done in tiers, so the higher the price property, the higher the percentage, I actually pay a much lower percentage. So the stamp duty on this property is £5,500. And of course, we've got fees to go with this. So solicitor fees, estate agent fees, letting fees come to around about £3,000. So the total amount I need for an investment property is £48,500. And with my £101,000, the amount of properties I can buy, given the deposit amount and the investment amount of £48,500, is 2 properties. I'll be left with a little bit left over, but for now we'll round it up. 2 properties with a deposit of £48,500. So we've got 2 properties, both with an investment of £48,500. So I charge £800 a month for rent on this property, and obviously I've got to pay a mortgage on this property. So the mortgage price which I pay for this property is £300. Now, after the mortgage, I've got to pay insurances. So if my tenants don't pay, I have money still coming in, and if they don't pay, this insurance covers the legal costs, so I can take them to court and I can get the money that they owe me. This insurance is £25 per property. On top of the insurance, we've got service charge and ground rent, which comes to around about £100 all in. So given the £800 for rent, minus the 300, minus the 25, and minus the 100, I'm looking at £375 in profit every single month from this one property. So as we know, I can buy 2 rental properties. So what we can go ahead and do is assume that the figures on the second property are going to be pretty much similar because they're both similar properties in a similar area, and I can't be asked to do two lots of figures, so we're going to assume both of these are the same, which they pretty much are. So total, that is £750 passive income from the cash I invested into rental properties instead of tying it up in my own properties. So with this, I'm getting the growth of the property market, and I'm also generating an income of £750. We have to pay tax on the profits we make, and the tax on £750 is 20%. So the amount of tax we're going to be paying on this property is £150 in tax. So that leaves me with £600 each month after tax, which I've generated from the cash I had invested. So the rent which I pay on this apartment that I live in right now is £2,000. Minus the tax I pay, I'm left with £600, and that is a total of £1,400 I have to come up with every single month to pay this rent. Personally, I'm upfronting £1,400 every single month for the rent on this property. Now, if I was to purchase the property, I would be looking at £2,038 per month. So I'm getting the capital gains growth from my rental properties, and I'm generating an income, so I'm not really losing out anywhere because I'm still getting the growth, but I'm also getting an income. So each month I have to upfront £1,400, which means I am £638 better off each month because I rent. So as a total, I'm actually saving £600 each month on my sort of monthly bills because I decided to invest my money and then use that returns to pay for my rent. So all in all, I'm actually £638 better off each month because I decided to go this route. Now, in no way am I saying you should go and start looking at rental properties to go and live in, because I've said it's better than a mortgage. This is just my situation and why I decided to rent, because as you can see, financially it works out better for me. So